Namaskaram. Welcome to Mana TV live classes. Today the concept is methods and approaches of mathematical teaching. Every person will not become as a teacher. Okay, the toughest job for a teacher is teaching. Maybe the statement will be funny for you, correct? A teacher has teaching, but it should be following qualities, that is the presence of mind is very important, conceptual clarity is very important, and different kinds of methods, strategies, these are very important. And he should be a good learner, he has good patience, he has ethical values, he has social values, and he has to apply each and every time the concept with the daily life situation. Then only he becomes a good teacher. So children feels maths is a difficult, mathematics is a boredom, means because of maths teacher. It's not the reason for the children. Every children born with the same intelligence and IQ level. But maximum children feels that in the present society mathematics is the difficult because of they are not good at teaching methodology. So through the class maybe all of you understand what are the different kinds of methods and approaches which are useful to transact the classroom effective manner. Okay, I will start this class with one of a famous story, that is Albert Einstein. You know that Albert Einstein is a very familiar person. If you want to say about science, then you can recall Albert Einstein. So you know that there is a conservation of energy E equal to mc square. At the time there is no media and there is no printing press or anything. So if you want to say about that conservation of energy or the conversion of energy, mass and energy, so the Einstein himself has to visit the different universities and he has to explain those things. So one day at Cambridge University, Albert Einstein want to explain these things about E equal to mc square. Okay. So no one knows who is Albert Einstein, who present this concept, they feel that he is Albert Einstein. Every day his car driver is stand at the door, he is observing the lesson, he by heart the total lesson. Maybe as a teacher you know that who by heart the total concept, they can produce, they can present the concept with more effectiveness, correct? So one day he asked to Einstein, sir, what you are saying every day, so I by hearted all the concept, now I am able to explain the same concept in this Cambridge University. No, teaching is not a simple, it's a very difficult, everyone becomes not a good teacher. Like he said, no sir, I will explain those things, if you have any doubt I will explain to it now. Okay. So Einstein make a small laugh and okay, so you are eagerly waiting for explanation of the class, correct? Okay, like he gave the opportunity that. So the dresses are changed. So the Einstein in car driver dress and car driver is in Einstein dress. Einstein dress means shoot and all the things. Okay, so he explained the class and very effective manner. A very big applause comes. So he feels very proud because I said this, because without having any knowledge about the physical science or physics, I explained one of the greatest invention in the world is E equal to mc square. After the class, what happened? So the announcer comes. So they said all the professors and also Einstein gave an excellent presentation, so give a big applause for him. So a big applause comes. He feel very proud. Then have you any queries or doubts about this E equal to mc square? So sir will explain it. Then the car driver feels that he doesn't know anything, he doesn't know the relation between mass and energy also, just he by hearted that. Immediately what he said, no, I have no time this time, so my car driver will explain your doubts, I will engage with other work, like just he simply escaped from it. Who is acting as a car driver, actual Einstein will enter into that, he clarified that. Here the thing is the presence of mind. So this is a very important. So once you have, why I said this story means here, when you enter into the classroom standard is different, the understanding levels of the children are different, and the complexity of the concept for one chapter to other chapter will be different. The teacher has to change the methods. This is the most important. So in particular chapter only there are some sub-concepts. So he has to explain each sub-concept in a different strategy and different method, correct? So the teacher will be highly accurate to select a required adequate teaching method for the transact the concept in the classroom. So I am going to discuss each and every one, so how to adopt and which method is applicable in which area, all these things, and it's the most important for your teaching profession and also for this examination. Clear? So now I am going to discuss it one by one. The first one is a lecture method. Okay. This is the first one. So the lecture method, you know that this is an ancient method. In the ancient period, all the students will arrive to the Guru's ashramam, and at the time Guru will explain some of the concept about astrology or ethical values or what you call it as Vedas, and all these things they explained it. And each Guru is not good at all these things. So he will explain in a specific subject, for example astronomy. You want to learn about Vedas, so the children will move, the student will move from that Guru to another Guru ashramam. But presently, so we have good technology, good books, good reference books, so the total world becomes as a global village, and so many innovations, so many discoveries, so many methods, so many strategies are applied for it. So it's easy for all the teachers to communicate all the things. In the lecture method, so here the teacher is an active and the children is passive. The teacher will present the total concept, just the students are listeners. Okay. So when the students are listeners, which becomes as a passive, there is no good classroom transaction. And it is meant for to cover the total syllabus with a given stipulated time. For example, this month we want to complete the 3 chapters, then there is no other way to the teacher, then he will explain those things in a faster manner. So lecture method will be applicable there. But it is not good for primary education and elementary education or secondary education. This lecture method is applicable for the higher education only. And it's just the advantage for this lecture method is only for to complete the syllabi. And drawbacks for this, so many drawbacks are there. So yeah, the teacher is active, student is passive. This is the most important. Clear? And it is not applicable for the secondary level. Clear? These two, they may ask the question in the particular area. Now coming to the next one is lecture demonstration method. The second one is a lecture demonstration method. You know that it's very clear, there will a part is added, that's called a demonstration. Means here the teacher can explain the things by demonstrating, by using the charts. He can display the things by chart, or he can explain the concepts by PowerPoint presentation. Okay, for example, you want to explain the construction. So if the classroom is very big, the strength is more than 40, it's not ideal. So the teacher will not move to each and every student in the classroom. He has to observe how the children is performing the construction. Then at that particular situations, generally the teacher will adopt one of the demonstration method, call it as PowerPoint presentation. All the schools have the KN projectors. So through the KN projectors, just they will switch on the PowerPoint presentation, then the slides will come one by one. He can use different kinds of softwares. So there is a software you will called a GeoGebra. By using GeoGebra software, the teacher can perform the construction in a very simple mode. or by using the flash player software technique, they can, of course, the teacher can perform this PowerPoint presentation more effectively. So definitely it impress the children, and there is a possibility for effective learning. Clear? And for example, so there is a graph sheet is there. Graph sheet size is very simple, but when you adopt the KN projector, there is a graph sheet, virtual graph sheet is there. So through virtual graph sheet, the teacher can draw the cumulative frequency curves. Of course, we call it as a OZ curves. So like if you want to explain the concepts of statistics, or concept of sets, or concept of geometry, or concept of coordinate geometry, so we can adopt this lecture demonstration method. This is the most useful. Here the children, of course, student and the teacher will participate in a more effective manner. But lecture demonstration method is not applicable for all concepts. Clear? Because every concept will not be demonstrated. So at that time, so this method is not applicable. But when you compare with the lecture method, lecture demonstration method is a more useful. We can apply this lecture demonstration method in secondary level also. So that's a very, very important. And I observed some of the schools, especially you are wishing to join in social welfare assistance schools. When I visited those schools as a academic monitoring officer, so the children are performing this demonstration in a more effectively. That organization conducting one activity, call it as Super Student Program, which was telecasted by the Mana TV only. Clear? So there the children prepares the PowerPoint presentations and they explain the concepts in extraordinary mode. Means the children is able to perform, means the teacher also able to perform more effectively. So lecture demonstration method is a more useful for secondary school level transactions. Okay. So here we can use so many tools. Already I said the tools. So they can use the charts, they can use the models, they can use the PowerPoint presentations, they can use the softwares like GeoGebra or Flash Player. I will write those things. The tools generally used as a charts, models, it's of course it's a working models, okay, and PPT, it is call it as PowerPoint presentation, and you can use the KN projectors. Okay, and the software just now I said GeoGebra, okay, or Flash Player, and some other also there, just I am indicating only few of them. So by using these things, you can demonstrate the things in an effective manner, correct? Okay, this is the second one. So here the student and the teacher both are active, they are active, they learn it. Of course, there is no scope for by hearting the concept, and so here they can understand it easily. That visualization is they will learn the best academic standard representation and visualization. So it helps the children to this. So my sincere request to all of the teachers is where the lecture demonstration method is applicable, just adopt those things. Definitely, it gives effective classroom transaction. Okay, these are the tools which for the demonstration. Okay, now coming to the next one is induction method. And this induction method is most applicable. Maybe all of you know that we are using induction more frequently, this word, and this method was propagated, promoted by the Pestalozzi. Pestalozzi, one of the greatest mathematician, of course he did a research work in the methods, so he feels that induction is one of the best method and he promoted. So here the question will come as who promoted induction method is Pestalozzi. So Pestalozzi is promoted this induction method. In this induction method, what is induction? That's a very, very important. So mathematics is an abstract, am I correct? So from abstract to concrete is called induction. From simple to general is called induction. Okay. So, means here there are some simple cases or call it as specific cases. The specific cases will be generalized. For example, the even number, the general formula of an even number is 2n, where n is a natural number. So, here how he is going to say the general formula for an even number is 2n. So, when you consider the multiples of 2, 2 1s, 2 2s, 2 3s, 2 6s, 2 8s, 2 10s, 2 20s, like all are multiple, those are even numbers. So, here we are using as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so it is called it as n. So, the general formula is 2n. 4 we can write it as 2 2s, so it is an even number. So, means here it is a specific to generalization. This is called induction, mathematical induction. There is a myth in a mathematical induction, means in for some specific cases it is true, then it is true for all the cases it is wrong. So, we gave this information in that. I will give one of the very interesting maths fact in the history, that is you know that there is a general formula for an even number, there is a general formula for a perfect number, there is a general formula for an odd number. Okay, like there is just some general formulas, but there is no general formula for a prime number. So, Fermat want to of course want to give our number as a generalized formula for a prime number. Then he gave that number as 2 to the power of n plus 1. 2 power n plus 1 is a prime number, he said. 2 power n plus 1. For n equal to 1 it is true, you know that. 2 square plus 1, 4 plus 1, 5 is a prime number. 2 cube plus 1, it is of course we have 2, when you say n equal to 3 for example, or n equal to 2, take n equal to take 2, then 2 power 2 square, 2 power 4, 16, 16 plus 1, 17 is a prime number. When you take 3 here, 2 cube, 2 power 8, 2 power 8, 2 power 8 means here 256 here just. So, plus 1, 257 is a prime number. So, like for n equal to 1 it is a prime number, for n equal to 2 is a prime number, for n equal to 3 it is a prime number, for n equal to 4 it is a prime number, but for n equal to 5 it is not a prime number. 2 power 32 plus 1 is divisible by 641. What is a prime number? A prime number has only exactly 2 factors, the number itself and 1. But 2 power 32 plus 1, which has one more factor, that is 641. By using concurrency you can prove it easily. In the previous old 8th class textbook the same thing was given. So, induction means here it is for some specific cases it is true, you have to verify for the rest of the cases also true or not. This is a most important. It is a psychological method. Here the children will participate and more actively. Okay, and there is no scope for by hearting or rote learning. Children only will derive it. Okay, and so much logical thinking will be done in the induction method. So, 80% of the mathematical concepts are derived from the induction method only. Maximum geometry are induction method only. Correct? So, it is a very good method. So, I will take one example to give the more clarity about the induction method by in the chapter of progressions. Okay. So, for example, if you take 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 and so on. 2, 5, 8, 11, 14 and so on. When you consider this, it is an arithmetic progression, correct? It is an arithmetic progression. Because 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, 11 plus 3 is 14. So, it is increased by a fixed number. So, we call it as it is a arithmetic progression. So, you want to know the nth term of it. If the children simply by closing his eyes by hearted the nth term of a arithmetic progression Tn is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. Number of times when he by hearted, sometimes he will forget also. Every children should not have a good memory and good retentivity power. So, then how to do it? That is very important, because already formula was given, it is highlighted in the box, the children is able to understand, and when he practice 5 or 6 times by drilling method, the children can recall those things easily, but after some time he may forget those things. But if they observe the patterns, so which is a part of induction method, just observe. I am writing this is 2 as 2, okay, 5 as increased by 3 units now. So it is 2 plus 3, 8 is 2 plus 6, 11 as 2 plus 9, and 14 as 2 plus 12. Now I am writing this as 2 plus 0. When you add 0, nothing will happen. Am I correct? Okay, now I am taking the same one. This is 2. I am taking the table of 3. 3 zeros, 2 plus 3 ones, 2 plus 3 twos, 2 plus 3 threes, and 2 plus 3 fours. Okay. Now I am saying this one as T1, term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4, term 5. Okay. So what is a common pattern you observed here? Just observe. 2 is a common throughout all the steps, and 3 is a common one. 2 is the first term. Am I correct? So we can say as A. Otherwise we will say later. Okay. 3 plus. Now I am writing with respect to term number. I want to change this pattern with respect to term number. I am taking this 2 plus 3 with respect to term number 1. I will say as 1 minus 1. 2 plus 3, I will say it is 2 minus 1. 2 plus 3, 2 as 3 minus 1. 2 plus 3, this one as 4 minus 1. 2 plus 3, this one as 5 minus 1. Okay, now observe. The first term is 2 plus 3 into 1 minus 1. Second term is 2 plus 3 of 2 minus 1. Third term is 2 plus 3 of 3 minus 1. A fourth term is 2 plus 3 of 4 minus 1, and the fifth term is 2 plus 3 of 5 minus 1. Then sixth term 2 plus 3 of 6 minus 1. Seventh term 2 plus 3 of 7 minus 1. 10th term 2 plus 3 of 10 minus 1. So nth term 2 plus 3 of n minus 1. So the children will write as Tn is equal to 2 plus 3 of n minus 1. So 2 is the first term in this series, generally represented a progression with A. So we will write A, and its series is increased with a common difference, say 3. So we will say as D. So Tn is equal to A plus D of n minus 1. The formula was derived, and no need to by heart the things. Am I correct? No need to by heart the things. Just generalize the patterns. When you generalize the patterns, finally you come to a conclusion which is a formula. So this is a very important, teachers. So you have to adopt this induction method to generalize. So the children can understand the patterns, they will create the patterns, and finally they come to specific to generalization. This is called induction method. So induction method has more advantages. I will write the advantages as a point wise. The first one is, these are the very important for your examination, that is, it is from abstract to concrete. Okay. Specific to general. Okay. A good psychological method. Student active method, student centric method. These are the few importance of the method. One is abstract to concrete, simply the abstractism will be driven to the concrete, the children can understand easily. And the second one is specific to general, so from specific cases to the children will generalize the things, and it's a good psychological method. Children, there is a logical thinking will improve. So there is some possibility of innovation, there is a possibility of discovering some things, and there is a possibility to narrate the relation between patterns. So all these things comes under the psychological method. So psychologically it's a more effective, and it is a student centric method. The children will participate in this development of that, and finally come to have a good satisfaction. Myself I innovated a formula, or myself I discovered a formula, or myself generated a formula. So that kind of, that is called I find. So that kind of happiness will be given by this method. So we have to follow this induction method. So everywhere some drawbacks. So induction method also some drawbacks. That drawbacks is this method cannot be applied to all the branches of mathematics and all concepts of mathematics and all areas of mathematics. But you can extend some maximum extent for this induction method, and it's a time taking method. So according to the academic calendar, so we can't apply all concepts by through this induction method only. Where the time permits, how then the teacher can adopt this induction method. Is it clear? So the question may ask in this particular induction method is who promoted this induction method, that is Pestology, and what are the induction method, what do you say about induction method? Means here it gives from abstractism to concretism, and it moves from specific to general, and it's a psychological method, and it's a student centric method. Clear? Okay. Shall we move to the next method? The next method is deduction method. So in this deduction method, maybe you understand that simply like a little bit of quite opposite to the induction method. Am I correct? So what is an induction method? So there from abstract to concrete. In the deduction method, from concrete to abstract. There we derive the formulae, or derive the general form, or derive the particular statement or a theorem. That's induction. Deduction means we will use the things which are derived from the induction method as a required one. Means formula based questions. The formula was be given, by using the formula we will find a solution or answer. That's called, means here it is very simple, means simply from concrete to abstract, general to specific. Okay. And whereas you come to the induction method is a long method, where deduction method is short method. But the drawback for this deduction method is how many formulas can a children can recollect and memorize. So there are so many areas of branches of mathematics. For each chapter, for each concept, where n number of formulas will be there, n number of statements will be there, n number of axioms will be there, n number of postulates will be there. Am I correct? All this, the children can memorize all these things and reproduce the same. It's a very difficult. It's a memory based method. Okay. If the children has good memory, then only the deduction method can be used more effectively. At the same time, teacher also has a good memory. Am I correct? So then only the deduction method can be used. But the rest of the part of the things which are left by the deduction method can be solved by the deduction method. So induction and deduction methods are two important pillars of the total teaching methodology. So you can apply this deduction method, and you know that it's promoted by Comenius. Comenius is one of the mathematician who promoted this deduction method. So we will write the point wise what about the deduction method. Deduction method was promoted by Comenius. Okay, and it's from concrete to abstract, and it's from general to a specific. Okay, and it's a shortest method, and of course it's a memory based method. It improves the speed and capacity of doing mathematics. Clear? Okay. So here 3 points was it's meant for a concrete to abstract, then general to specific. When it is a shortest method, to get the solution is more easily, and it is a memory based method. It is a memory based method. Of course, it improves the speed to get the solution, and the capacity of doing mathematics also it improves. These are the some important characteristics of the deduction method, and deduction method is highly applicable, and maximum concepts also covered by the this deduction method. So, we can apply induction and deduction method in the problem solving, of course any problem solving or anything, clear. Okay. Now, shall we move to the next one? The next one is you know that it is a very important one, we call it as a analytical method. So, in the analytical method, so you know that analytical means analysis. We analyze the problem. When you analyze a given concept, that process is called, that method is called analysis, analytical, clear. The concept is divided into some parts and we analyze it. The process, that method is called analytical method, means a concept is divided into some parts, that process will be called it as analytical. And here is a very important, it starts from, every statement has two parts. One part is the given or call it as hypothesis, other part we will call it as conclusion or required to prove. So, here we start with the conclusion or required to prove, and we ends our investigation to hypothesis. So, we will start with what you have to find. So, we will start with there and what is given, means we make a correlation between these two, that is called analytical method, clear. So, it is a scientific method, and this method, generally analytical method will be used to write the books, analysis. So, we have to write analysis, and mostly we are using in the geometry, in the geometry areas we are using, and in the mensuration chapter also this method, analytical method will be used. Okay. So, I will explain with one problem what is an analytical problem like here. So, I will just observe it. It is an analytical method. Analyze the problem into parts. Okay, starts from RTP to hypothesis. A good logical reasoning takes place. And each step supported by axiom, formulae, theorem or sub-theorem. Okay, this is about analytical method. Once again I will recall all these things here. It analyzes a problem into parts. It starts from required to prove to hypothesis, and there is a good possibility of logical reasoning, and each step in the solution are supported by an axiom. You know that what is an axiom? An axiom is a self-evident fact which does not require any kind of proof and explanation. That is called axiom, clear. When the two parallel lines of course intersected by a transversal, the corresponding angles are equal, it is an axiom. So, no need of proving that statement, it is self-evident fact. Okay. And the next one is we can use the formula. By using that formula this step will be getting, okay, or by using identity, or if it is geometry by using the theorem or a derived theorem or a sub-theorem. So, all will support it. That is the reason we call it as a logical steps. Each step is supported by with a particular reason. This is called analytical method. Okay. Now I am going to explain this analytical method with one problem. Maybe you noted all these things, am I correct? Now I am taking one where, and you have a pen and paper with you, just try to get the answer of this. If cos theta is equal to 1 plus x square by 1 minus x square, where modulus x is not equal to 1 and x belongs to modulus x is not equal to 1, is it possible? Justify your answer. I am saying x belongs to R. So now just observe this. If cos theta equal to 1 plus x square by 1 minus x square, where modulus x is not equal to 1, x belongs to R, is it possible? Justify your answer. Actually, in my knowledge, it's a beautiful question about analytical thinking. So here cos theta, you can say the answer in so many methods of this. Cos theta, what is cos theta? Cos theta is nothing but is a trigonometrical ratio. So cos theta equal to adjacent side by the hypotenuse. So cos theta, simply we can say cos theta equal to adjacent side by the hypotenuse. You know that adjacent side is always less than with the hypotenuse, means the numerator is less than the denominator, means what kind of fraction it is? It is a proper fraction, correct, as per the definition of cos theta. But what is given here? Cos theta equal to 1 plus x square by 1 minus x square. X is a real number. The square of a real number is always positive, correct. So x square is positive. When x square is positive, then 1 plus x square also positive value, and 1 plus x square will be more than 1 minus x square, correct. So 1 plus x square is more than 1 minus x square, means here the numerator is more than the denominator. Then what kind of fraction it is? It is improper fraction. As per the given information in the data, our hypothesis says that cos theta is an improper fraction, but as for defined value of cos theta, it is a proper fraction. Is it possible? It is not possible. So simply you can say it is not possible. You can rule out these things, but the solution not completed, still some more is there. Clear? Okay. And you can say in another way also. So 1 plus x square by 1 minus x square, you are saying. Cos theta, just recall the values of theta. Cos 0, 1. Cos 30, root 3 by 2. Cos 45, 1 by root 2. Cos 60, 1 by 2. Cos 90, 0. Cos 0 is 1. Cos 30 is root 3 by 2. Root 3 is 1.732 by 2, 0.86 for something. Decreases. Cos 45, 1 by root 2, means root 2 by 2. 1.414 by 2 means at 0.7 something, decreases. Cos 60 is 1 by 2, 0.5, decreases. Cos 90, 0, decreases. Means here it decreases from 1 to 0. The maximum value of cos theta is plus 1 and it is minus 1. Means the cos theta never exceeds the value of 1, correct. As per the defined formulae, that cos theta equal to 1 plus x square by 1 minus x square, it is more than 1. So it is not possible. Like, see, we will give the score to the children in an analytical process, and a teaching method also should be in an analytical. It should be reasonable. Okay. So from these two, like you can say so many. So we can say it is not possible. Correct? Everyone agree with this? No. There is something. That is, there is a possibility for x equal to 0. Am I correct? For x equal to 0, when x equal to 0, then what is the cos theta value said? Cos theta equal to 1 plus 0 by 1 minus 0, which is 1 by 1, which is equal to 1. Cos theta equal to 1 means, just now I recall those values. Cos theta, cos 0 is 1, then theta equal to 0, means you got the solution for it, means it is possible. For x equal to 0, the statement is possible. For the rest of the values, the statement is not possible. So the final answer of this question is, this statement is true for x equal to 0. For the rest of the values of x, it's not true. This is the final answer. So a good analysis will be there. A good correlation between trigonometry and other things. Even we applied the concept of fractions also. Am I correct? So the analytical method will be give the very good analysis of the concept and gives finally a conceptual clarity. So this is about analytical method. Maybe you understand that. Now the next one is a synthetic method. Okay. So every time just induction, deduction, analytical, synthetic. Maybe now you can identify that what is synthetic method. Okay, synthetic. So in the analytical method, we divided the concept into some parts. In synthetic method, we divide, of course, we add the parts as a concept. Am I correct? We add that. That's a very, very important. So there we divide it into pieces or parts, and here the parts will be integrated and forms a concept. These are most important. Okay. For this, very important thing is it's based on more memory. Okay, a logical thinking is required, and they has to understand the interrelation between all these parts, because there are some parts. See, there are some parts will be given to you for a machine. Assembling is all these parts and make a machine is a little bit of difficult. Some instruction sheet and design, if we provide it, then only we can make it into a complete work. Otherwise, it's a very difficult. Am I correct or not? Means that people should have the good knowledge about this assembling. In the same manner, in mathematics also, you should know the relation between the property. Of course, all parts. So so much memory is required. Clear? This is a little bit of disadvantage, and mostly the synthetic method is used for a research orientation. Okay, and mostly the writers, the authors will use this synthetic method for writing reference books. They will draw a flow chart or a concept mapping or a knowledge based that. I will give a simple a synthetic method for that. I will give it to you to understand those. Okay, when you call it as a division, I am taking a concept of division. The word will becomes as a division. When it comes into division, you will get a part as factor, multiple. After that factor, multiple, you will get LCM, least common multiple, and GCD, greatest common divisor. Okay. From this, then you will get divisional algorithm. Okay. Then you will get divisibility rules. Then you will get Euclid lemma. Then you will get congruence of divisibility. Clear? Now just observe this. So here you know all these parts. You know division, you know the divisibility rules, you know the factor, you know multiple, you know LCM, you know GCD, you know Euclid lemma, you know divisional algorithm, you know congruence. So order is very important. Clear? You have to synthesize all these things. Divide, division, divisibility, all these things are very, very important. Clear? So you have to synthesize all the things and make as a concept mapping. So this comes under the synthetic method. research people or who are the authors generally will use the synthetic method, and the textbook writers also will use the synthetic method to write the books. This is one of the method. Is less. It takes much more time, more integrity knowledge is required, integrated knowledge is required, all these things used in the synthetic method. Am I correct? Okay, now coming to this, just I will write a briefing of the synthetic method. And synthetic method, parts will be gathered together, parts will be added to form a concept. Okay, this is the most important. It's a totally memory based, and it's used in research orientation, and used by the authors of reference books. Okay, these are the methods. Of course, its parts will be added to form a concept, and it's a memory based, and generally we use it for research orientation, and mostly authors are used for this a synthetic method. Am I correct? Okay. So now shall we move to the next one? So now can I recall once again all those things here? Already we discussed a lecture method, lecture demonstration method, induction method, deduction method, analytical method, and synthetic method. Now we are going to shift for the next one, is called as heuristic method. Okay, so maybe you heard about heuristic word. Am I correct? Are very familiar. Of course, you are teachers, you know all these methods properly, but my intention is I am saying these all these. So maximum teachers are trained in Telugu medium of instruction, correct? Because at the time very less. So this terminology is very important. So heuristic method means generally it is derived from one of the Greek word called as heuric, the first one. Heuric means it's a I find. It's derived from the Greek word. Heuric means I find. Okay, and it's developed by Armstrong. So here nearly 3 questions may come here from this. Observe it. Direct questions. The heuristic method derived from the which word? Call it as heuric. Which language? It's a which kind of word it is? A Greek word. What is the meaning of heuric? It's I find. Who promoted this heuristic method? Armstrong. Like the questions may come from the heuristic method. Clear? And you have to use when you are going to use it. Heuristic method is also most important. Clear? Okay. There is a story. All of you know that story. When a king want to know the quantity of volume of his crown, he asked to that. Then simply Armstrong simply when he is taking bath at the tub, so how much quantity of water was poured from the other, so the both will be same. This story all of you know that, no need to say about it. But heuristic method is very important. So it is totally against to the lecture method. In the lecture method, the teacher totally is active, and he will deliberate is a presentation without considering the understanding levels of the children, correct? But heuristic method is completely opposed to the lecture method, and the student is so active, teacher is passive. That's the difference. In the lecture method, teacher is active, student is passive. In heuristic method, student is active, teacher is passive. That's a difference between this. It's a psychologically a more advisable method. Okay, and generally we will use it for research orientation. I will give an example. Maybe what is heuristic method? I will give 2 sets. For example, A and B are 2 sets. So what do you understand about these 2 sets? That's the question. It's an open-ended question. First, we will observe the number of elements of the set A. If it is countable, we will say it is a finite. If it is not countable, we will say infinite set. So first we will say whether the given sets are finite or infinite. The first one is over. First task is over. Now we are going to show that. Okay. Then how to represent these 2 sets by using Venn diagram? So that's a different. Okay, means when they have a common elements, the Venn diagram will be different. When they are disjoint sets, they are two non-intersecting circles. When they have common elements, they are two intersecting circles like these two. When they are disjoint sets, like these two. When they are subsets, so one comes under the other. Clear? So here whether they are subsets and whether they are disjoint sets, whether they are finite sets, whether they are infinite sets, like we can find it. And we can say sometimes what is n of A, what is the cardinal number of A, and what is the cardinal number of B, and what is the relation, whether n of A is greater than n of B, or n of B is greater than n of A, or n of A is equal to n of B. So means n of A equal to n of B means cardinal number are equal, then you can say equivalent sets. Okay, all the elements of set A are equal to elements of set B, then we will call it as equal sets. So we can find the relation in all aspects. That is heuristic. Eureka, that is called Eureka. So Eureka means I find. So the children can find whether they are equal sets, whether they are equivalent sets, whether they are subsets, whether they are finite sets, whether they are disjoint sets. Like he can find the relation between the two sets. Clear? So that will give the student more happiness. I participate in it. Myself only invented this. So this credit goes to me, means I learn mathematics. So teacher is totally passive. Just he has to maintain this that classroom transaction in a effective manner. He has to give the support. Clear? So heuristic method is the most advisable method. So clearly in this area, then who promoted? That's Armstrong promoted. And which term we derived from which term means heuric or eureka, and of course what is the meaning for it? It's I find, it's a Greek word. Clear? And it's very clear, it's against to the lecture method, completely opposite to the lecture method. Teacher is passive and the student is active. Clear? Okay. Now coming to the next one, now coming to next one is call it as laboratory method. Okay. So laboratory method is mathematics, nothing but it's a science, correct? So maths is the queen of all sciences. It's a science. So science needs a laboratory. So every maths teacher should know about a math lab. In the math lab, what are the things, what are the kind of instruments is required? So this laboratory method is the most advisable, and the objective of this laboratory method is learning by doing. Learning by observing. These are the two important things, objectives of this laboratory method. The first one is learning by doing. And second one is learning by observation. These are the two important objectives of this laboratory method. This is the most one. One is learning by doing. A second one is learning by observation. Clear? Okay. So every school should have a mathematical lab. Every school should have the mathematical lab. So they have to provide a learning environment. For maths lab, no need of more equipment. So there is a common equipment is there. In the laboratory, the teacher has to perform, our students also perform different mathematical activities. They have to observe these the things which are correct. For example, in the textbook we gave the sum of the three angles of a triangle equal to 180. In the laboratory, they cut the three angles A, B, C, and when you join it on a linear pair, then it forms a sum of angles equal to 180. Clear? Like a laboratory. So math lab. So just we can prepare that math lab, and by using the math lab you can explain the concept of. Okay. Anyway, so these are the few methods for transacting the class a more effective way, and some more methods also there, but these are the very important methods. So project method is there, clear, and oral methods are there, and assignments will be there, and all these also parts of methods of teaching. So, maybe you understand all these things and apply the same things in the classroom and make the classroom more effectively. So, I hope you feel mathematics teaching as a passion. So, once you feel mathematics teaching as a passion, definitely our children will be very good in mathematics. So, thanks for all of you for listening in this class, and I hope so you will be a good mathematics teacher. Namaste.